Morning, everybody. You are here with the CEO of JT Outriggers. And here's my trailer with a few of my boats on it. We just threw in, and we are getting ready to panhandle or pan the camera, as it said. I'm so used to panhandling that's why I said panhandle. But what we're going to do is we're going to pan the camera over where the Wasp is at. Its first time in the water. This is an exciting moment, but there's the other three boats right here sitting in the trailers, not painted. But here we go. We are now looking at the Wasp. Look at it. Look at it sitting in the water. Look how the sponges are just damn near completely underwater, but just the upper half of them is peeking up, and the very tips of the sponges are peeking out of the water. Now the tub is half of it, it's barely touching the water. But once I put the hardware and the batteries and everything in there, that thing is probably going to sit just perfect. The sponges are going to be just a little underwater, but once that prop kicks in, it's going to rise out of that water like a torpedo, you know, sort of like a torpedo that starts off underwater and comes up out of water. But here it is right here, and it is really looking very well. Let's take a look at the front of it while it's in the water. As you can see, the lower part of the boom that goes across the bottom is just barely touching the surface. See, now that'll go into the water just slightly once the hardware and the batteries get in there, but it'll rise right up out of water, because once that prop kicks in, as you can see the rear of it, once that prop kicks in, that boat's going to head to the surface because it's very buoyant. It has no desire to sink. So as long as it has that drive to the surface, you're all right, and that's exactly what we got here. I had another one that sat kind of low, where I've seen them on the internet where some of them were just completely underwater, and once they hit the go on the radio, they usually jump right out of the water. But I'm very confident this baby's gonna come right out of the water. That looks good. It's sitting in the water just the way I'd expect it to. You know, it ain't taking on any water. I mean, I can lift the deck up and take a look at it. Whoa, I take that back. I believe all that's from forcing it lower. But let me double check and make sure none of that's coming from anywhere. But that's from me pushing on it just a minute ago. But we'll let it sit and see what happens. But I'm confident it ain't gonna take on no water, but it certainly had water in it from me pushing on it. But anyhow, there is the Wasp right there. Look at that baby. Look at the back of it, just sitting in the water, just perfect. And what it's gonna do is, once I give that thing a little bit of juice, man, look at that baby, it's sitting. Look at that turning fin down in there. Look at that turning fin down in the water. It is just ready to rock and roll, man. This baby is no joke, I tell you. No joke. This Wasp here, look at that. Sitting wonderful on the surface right there. Look at that, man. Look at that. Now let's take that lid off again. See, no water. That water was the water from pushing it down. See, because if I can push it down, it'll take on water. But once I load it up, put my tape on there, no water's going to get in here. It's going to be beautiful. No water running from the front down. It's all sealed in the front. This is a nice boat right here, people. This boat right here is gonna, it's probably gonna break a record, you know, like the rest of my boats. Just take a good look at that, man. Look at that. Look at that, baby. Look at that. Look at how the tips are just perking out of the water. She is ready, boy. She's ready to be loaded with motor and batteries. Look at that. Looks like something you'd see in the U.S. military. jumping out of the water and just taking off like about 150, 200, 300 miles an hour. And then suddenly, it'd be nice to build something like this and put some wings made out of a flexible material, like a carbon fiber Kevlar wings that just shoot out the sides. And after flying across the water 200 miles, suddenly it jumps up on the air and does about 400 miles an hour. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being in the cockpit of this thing at 180 miles an hour across the lake? Look at that. Look at that, man. Wow. This is the CEO.